The night was silent, and the forest near the small town of Ridgewood was darker than usual. Thick clouds covered the moon, and the wind moved through the trees like someone whispering secrets. Ethan Walker, a young man who liked late-night walks, followed the narrow forest path with a flashlight in his hand. He enjoyed the calm, but tonight, something felt wrong. Halfway through the path, Ethan suddenly stopped. A strange sound echoed from deep inside the trees. It was not an animal sound, not a human sound. It was something in between soft, shaky, and mixed with a low metallic hum. He slowly scanned the forest with his flashlight. Nothing, only trees, bushes, and darkness. But then he heard it again. A soft cry, like a small child calling for help. Ethan's heart beat faster. Someone was in trouble. He stepped off the path, pushing branches away as he moved toward the sound. The air smelled like smoke and something strange, almost like burnt metal. After a few minutes, he reached a small clearing. And there, he saw something he never expected. A broken pod. It was round, glowing faintly blue, with cracks all over its surface. Steam rose from the open door. The ground around it was burned. Ethan stared in shock. It looked like something from a science fiction movie. Something not from Earth. But the thing that shocked him more was inside the pod. A small girl, maybe 10 or 11 years old, curled up and shaking. She looked almost human. Almost. Her skin was pale, with faint blue lines running across her arms and neck like glowing veins. Her hair was silver white, messy, and full of dirt. Her eyes, when she slowly lifted her head, were bright violet under the flashlight. Ethan froze. The girl stared at him with fear, like she expected him to hurt her. "It's okay," Ethan whispered carefully, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "I won't hurt you." The girl blinked, confused. She opened her mouth slightly and spoke one single word in a shaky voice. "Help." The way she said it, full of fear and pain, made Ethan move instantly. He stepped closer, slowly, trying not to frighten her. She backed away a little, but she was too weak to stand. Her body trembled, and she looked like she would faint. "Hey." "It's fine," Ethan said softly. "You're safe now." He reached out his hand. The girl hesitated, looking at his hand like she had never seen such a gesture before. After a moment, she placed her tiny, cold hand in his palm. Ethan gently helped her out of the broken pod. When her feet touched the ground, she stumbled, and he caught her before she fell. She was too light, like she had not eaten in days. "What happened to you?" he asked quietly. The girl only shook her head. She looked terrified of something. Or someone. And then the forest lit up for a brief moment. A streak of white light shot across the sky. It looked like a falling star, but it moved too fast. And then too slow. Almost like a ship searching the area. The girl's eyes widened in panic. She pointed to the sky, trembling. "They coming." Ethan looked up again, confused and alarmed. "Who's coming?" The girl did not answer. Instead, she pressed her head against his chest, shaking uncontrollably. Ethan felt her panic like a heartbeat, whatever she escaped from. It was still looking for her. He quickly wrapped his jacket around her small body. She was freezing. "Come on," he whispered. "My house is close. I'll help you. You don't have to be afraid." He lifted her carefully in his arms. She held onto him tightly, as if he was the first safe person she had seen in a long time. As Ethan carried her through the trees, the glowing pod flickered behind them. Small sparks shot out, and then the pod suddenly shut down. The clearing grew dark again, but Ethan didn't see the tiny red light blinking on the pod's side. A tracking light. Someone or something now knew the pod had been opened, and they were coming. Ethan reached his home, locked the door, and placed the girl gently on the sofa. She looked around like she had never been inside a human house before. Her violet eyes followed every movement Ethan made. "What's your name?" he asked softly. The girl opened her mouth, struggled, and whispered, "Lyra." Her voice was barely a breath. Ethan nodded. "Lyra, you're safe here." But Lyra shook her head. Those glowing lines on her skin pulsed brighter. "No safe," she whispered. "They find me." Outside, a low hum passed through the air, something flying above the forest. Ethan's world had just changed forever, and he had no idea what danger was already heading his way. Asterisk. The night passed slowly inside Ethan's small house. After bringing the strange girl from the forest, he didn't sleep. He sat in a chair near the sofa where she rested, watching her carefully. She looked peaceful now, but something about her felt unreal. The faint blue lines on her skin glowed softly, like living light moving under her skin. Ethan kept asking himself the same question again and again. Who is she? Before sunrise, the house suddenly went silent, too silent. Even the refrigerator stopped humming. The lights flickered, then turned on by themselves. Ethan jumped to his feet. "Lyra?" he whispered. The girl was no longer on the sofa. Ethan walked slowly into the hallway. A soft blue glow leaked from under his bedroom door. His heart pounded as he pushed the door open. Lyra was standing in the middle of his room, eyes closed, her feet slightly above the floor. She was floating only a few inches, but enough to make Ethan freeze in shock. The blue lines on her skin shone brighter, spreading like moving patterns. Every electronic device in the room, his laptop, phone charger, lamp turned on and off in short bursts. It felt like the room was reacting to her. "Lyra?" Ethan whispered again, afraid to startle her. Her eyes snapped open. The glow faded instantly, and she dropped to the floor with a soft thud. Confused and scared, she looked at Ethan. Sorry, she said in her broken English. Ethan shook his head slowly. "It's okay. Are you hurt?" She looked around like she didn't understand what happened. "Dream. Bad dream," she whispered. "Make. Big light." Ethan realized it wasn't just a dream. Whatever she was, her power was connected to her emotions. He gently guided her back to the living room. As she sat down, she stared at her glowing arms, touching the lines with wide eyes, as if she was seeing them for the first time. "You said your name is Lyra," Ethan said softly. "Can you tell me more?" Lyra hugged her knees and looked at the floor. "I remember. Little, only. Running, bright walls. Cold place. Where do you come from?" he asked. She closed her eyes tightly, trying to remember. After a long pause, she whispered, "Not here." Ethan swallowed hard. He already knew she wasn't from Earth, but hearing her say it made everything feel heavier. Lyra lifted her hand and pointed toward the sky. "From far. Very far." Her accent was strange, her words broken, but the fear in her voice was clear. Ethan sat beside her. "Who were you running from?" Lyra's violet eyes filled with terror. "The bad men, hunters. They take children, make them disappear." She placed her hand over her chest. "They want me." Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. He remembered the strange lights in the sky last night, and the red tracking light on the pod. Whoever wanted her. They might still be close. Lyra suddenly pulled the sleeve of her shirt up. A strange symbol glowed on her arm, a mark shaped like a star with sharp edges. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. "What is that?" Ethan asked. Lyra touched it gently. "Don't know. But hunters want this." She hesitated, then added, "They say I belong to them." Ethan clenched his jaw. "You don't belong to anyone." Lyra looked at him with confusion, then a small, shy smile appeared. It was the first time she looked like a normal child. As morning light entered the room, Lyra stared out the window, studying the trees, the sky, the birds. Everything seemed new to her. She touched the glass with wonder. So many colors. she whispered. Ethan realized she had never seen Earth before. Everything was a discovery, but their calm moment didn't last long. A strange buzzing sound broke the silence. Ethan looked outside and saw a drone hovering above the backyard, small, metal, and nothing like human technology. It had a glowing red eye in the center. Lyra gasped and stumbled backward. "No, they find. They find." Ethan grabbed her hand. "Is this one of the hunter's machines?" Lyra nodded quickly, her breathing fast. "They close. Very close." The drone scanned the yard, then turned toward the house. Ethan pulled Lyra into the hallway just as a thin red beam of light slid across the window like a searching eye. The drone hovered for a moment, then flew away, but Lyra shook her head violently. "Not gone. More coming. Many coming." Ethan felt cold fear grip him. The hunt had begun. He moved to the kitchen and grabbed some food, water, and his camping backpack. "We have to leave." Lyra hesitated. "Danger. For you." "I don't care," Ethan said firmly. "You're just a kid. I'm not leaving you alone." Something warm flickered in Lyra's eyes, something like trust. Before they left the house, Ethan looked at her once more. "Lyra, we'll figure out who you are. I promise." Lyra placed her small hand in his. "Ethan." "Thank you." But outside, hidden behind the trees, something metallic moved silently. The hunters were already on Earth, and they were closing in. Morning sunlight covered Ridgewood town, but Ethan felt no warmth. His mind stayed focused on the strange drone that had searched his house. Something dangerous was coming, and every instinct in his body warned him to run. Lyra stayed close to him, holding his backpack strap with trembling fingers. Her violet eyes kept scanning the sky. Every time she heard a bird or a car, she flinched. The fear in her was deep, too deep for a child. They reached the old forest road that led away from town. Ethan thought they would be safe there, but Lyra suddenly stopped walking. She whispered, "They are near." Ethan listened. At first, he heard nothing but wind. Then he heard it, a low metallic hum, slow, heavy, unnatural. It was coming from the sky. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand and pulled her under a large tree. The shadows hid them well, but Lyra still hugged herself tightly, shaking. A shape moved through the clouds, big, silver, and sharp like a mechanical predator. Not an airplane. Not a helicopter. Something else. Something alien. The machine glided silently, scanning the forest with a bright blue beam. Lyra squeezed her eyes shut. "Hunter's ship," she whispered. "They smell energy. My energy." Ethan had no idea how that worked, but he didn't need to. All he knew was that he had to get her out of there. When the ship passed, Ethan signaled Lyra to move. They quietly walked deeper into the forest until they reached a small abandoned cabin. The place looked old, but safe enough for a short rest. Inside the cabin, Lyra sat on the floor, hugging her knees. Ethan knelt beside her. "Lyra, you need to tell me. Who are these hunters?" Lyra bit her lip and looked at the wooden floor. "They take the lost, the weak. They take children from my world." Her voice shook. "They want me most, because I have something they want." "Your glowing marks?" Ethan asked. She nodded slowly. "Mark means special blood. Royal blood." She said the last word softly, as if speaking a dangerous secret. Ethan's eyebrows rose. "Royal like a princess?" Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know. I don't remember family. Only running. Only fear." Before Ethan could say anything, a loud electronic crack echoed outside the cabin. Something landed. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand and whispered, "Stay behind me." He crept toward the window and looked outside. At first, he thought he was seeing a tall, armored man. But as it stepped into the sunlight, He realized it was not a man at all. It was a creature wearing a silver-black exosuit, its body long and muscular, built for hunting. Its mask was shaped like an insect's face, with glowing red eyes. Two mechanical wings folded behind its back, and in its hand, it held a weapon that looked like a mix between a spear and a rifle. The hunter scanned the cabin with a long, sharp device. Its voice came out in a crackly digital growl. Target signature detected. Princess energy level, unstable. Lyra gasped softly. Ethan looked at her in shock. Princess? Lyra shook her head quickly. I don't know. But Ethan didn't have time to understand. The hunter moved toward the cabin door. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand. We're leaving, now. They slipped out the back window just as the cabin door exploded inward. Wood shattered, fire sparks flew, and the hunter stepped inside. Scanning the room, Ethan and Lyra ran through the forest, branches cutting their arms, breath shaking in their chests. Behind them, the hunter moved too fast. It didn't run like a human. It glided with soft mechanical sounds and deadly precision. Lyra stumbled on a rock, nearly falling. Ethan grabbed her instantly. Come on, don't stop. But Lyra closed her eyes tightly. They will catch me. They always catch me. Not today, Ethan said firmly. Suddenly the forest trembled. A second hunter dropped from the sky, landing right in front of them. Its red eyes locked onto Lyra immediately. Ethan pushed her behind him. Stay back. The hunter tilted its head. Human, stand aside. Target belongs to us. Ethan's heart pounded. She's just a child. The hunter raised its weapon. She is more. She is the lost heir. Lyra's eyes widened. Heir. Before she could understand her own identity, Ethan grabbed a thick branch from the ground and swung it at the hunter. The weapon hit the armored chest with a loud crack, but did nothing. The hunter knocked Ethan down with one swipe. Lyra screamed, and at that moment, everything changed. The blue lines on her skin flared bright, shining like burning stars. A wave of energy burst from her body, knocking the hunter backward. Leaves flew, stones rolled. The air rippled. Ethan stared in shock as Lyra's eyes glowed bright white. The hunter stood up slowly, shaking off dust. Power awakening. Princess is active. Lyra fell to her knees, exhausted. Ethan scrambled to her side. Lyra, what happened? She blinked, barely conscious. I don't know. It just came out. The first hunter emerged behind them. The second raised its weapon. They were trapped. But suddenly, a loud roar came from the sky. A bright light shot down. A new ship appeared overhead, different from the hunter's ships. The hunters looked up, confused. Lyra whispered, not hunters. Someone else. Hope flickered in her voice for the first time, and Ethan realized. This fight was only beginning. The bright light in the sky grew larger, cutting through the clouds like a blade of silver fire. Ethan shielded his eyes, but Lyra stared upward, her glowing marks trembling with a strange energy, almost like they recognized the ship above them. The two hunters also looked up, their red eyes narrowing. They stepped back, raising their weapons in defense. Whatever was coming, it was not theirs. A deep humming filled the forest. Leaves shook. Small stones rolled across the ground. Then the ship hovered low, releasing a vertical beam of soft white light. Someone stepped out of it. The figure floated gently to the ground, wrapped in white and gold armor that looked ancient yet futuristic. Their helmet had a single blue line glowing across the visor. Unlike the hunter's harsh design, this figure seemed elegant. Royal. Lyra gasped. Guardian. The hunters hissed mechanically and charged forward. The Guardian moved faster than sight. A wave of golden energy burst outward, knocking both hunters across the forest floor like toys. Their metal bodies slammed against trees, armor cracking. Ethan could only blink. Whoever this guardian was, they made the hunters look weak. Lyra stood but wobbled, still tired from her energy burst. The guardian approached her slowly, stepping with respect rather than aggression. When they reached her, they knelt on one knee and bowed their head. "Princess Lyra," the guardian spoke in a calm, deep voice. "At last we have found you." Lyra stumbled backward. "Princess? I don't understand. Why do you call me that?" The guardian raised their visor. A human-like face appeared older, with silver hair and kind, sad eyes. "Because you are the last royal blood of the Astrian Empire. Daughter of Queen Selene and King Orion, heir to the lost throne." Lyra's breathing grew fast. "No, I'm nobody. I don't remember them. I don't remember anything." The guardian nodded slowly. "The hunters erased your memories when they captured you. They feared what you would become." Ethan stepped closer, anger rising. "They took her memories, why?" The guardian looked at him. "Because a royal child with awakened powers could stop their rebellion. The hunters were once soldiers under your parents. But when they betrayed the empire, they killed the king and queen, and searched for Lyra to finish the bloodline." Lyra hugged her arms tightly. Tears slid down her cheeks. "If I am princess, why am I here? Why did I fall on this planet?" The guardian sighed. "Your parents hid you inside an escape pod when the palace was attacked. The pod was designed to take you far away from danger, but something damaged it. You drifted for years until you fell to Earth." Lyra shook her head again and again. "No, I don't want to be princess. I just want to be safe. I want Ethan." The guardian's eyes softened. "You have lived a life of fear, child. But your destiny is bigger than your fear." Ethan stepped forward, standing between Lyra and the guardian. "Destiny or not, she's just a kid. She doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want." The guardian studied Ethan for a long moment. "You protected her without knowing who she was. You have courage, human. And loyalty." Ethan nodded firmly, but said nothing. He was not afraid of the guardian. He was afraid of losing Lyra. The guardian reached into their armor and pulled out a small metal shard. It was shaped like a half-circle, glowing softly. They placed it in Lyra's hands. Lyra looked down at it. "What is this?" "A memory key," the guardian said. "The other half remains on the royal ship. When the two pieces join, your memories, the true ones, will return." Lyra stared at the shard like it was something alive. It pulsed gently in her palms. Suddenly, a beam of faint blue light shot upward from it. Forming a floating hologram, Ethan's eyes widened. A woman appeared, tall, elegant, with the same violet eyes as Lyra. She wore a long silver dress and a royal crown. Softly she smiled. "My daughter," the hologram whispered. "If you see this, we are gone. But you live. And that is enough." Lyra's legs gave out, and she fell to her knees. Tears ran freely down her face as the hologram continued. "You were born to lead with kindness, not fear. To bring light, not war." The hologram flickered. "Remember who you are. Lyra of Astrion." The image faded. The shard dimmed. Lyra's hands shook violently. I saw her. I saw my mother." Ethan knelt beside her, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "And she would be proud of you." Suddenly, a sharp noise echoed in the forest. Ethan turned. The two hunters stood again. Their damaged armor sparked, but they were far from defeated. "Target confirmed," one rasped. "Princess must be taken. For the new ruler." The guardian stepped in front of Lyra, raising a glowing golden shield. "Stay behind me," the guardian ordered. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand. "We're in this together." Lyra looked at him, voice trembling but stronger. "I know who I am now. And I won't run anymore." The forest grew silent. Then the hunters charged. The battle for the truth had just begun. Asterisk. The forest was silent for one heavy second, so silent that even the wind stopped moving. Lyra could hear only her own heartbeat, fast and frightened, yet strangely determined. Ethan stood beside her, and the Guardian stood in front, shield glowing gold. The two hunters, broken but vicious, prepared to attack again. Then everything exploded into motion. The first hunter lunged forward with a metallic scream, its spear-like weapon glowing red. The Guardian moved so fast that the air cracked around them. Their golden shield clashed with the hunter's spear, creating a shockwave that shook leaves from the trees. The second hunter fired a blast of blue energy. Ethan grabbed Lyra and dragged her behind a fallen log before the blast hit, sending splinters flying. "Stay low," and Ethan shouted. He had no training, no armor, only fear and the strong instinct to protect Lyra. Lyra peeked over the log. The Guardian fought both hunters at once, moving like liquid gold. Their shield bent energy beams, and their sword, a thin blade of light, cut through the air with sharp precision. But the hunters were fast too. Much faster than Ethan expected. They moved like machines but hunted like animals. One of them leapt onto a tree trunk, crawling sideways before jumping down toward Lyra, and Ethan pushed Lyra away just in time. The hunter slammed into the ground where they stood, cracking the dirt. Its red eyes locked onto Lyra, target priority, highest. Lyra backed away, her hands trembling. "Ethan, I don't want them to take me." "Then we don't let them," Ethan said, grabbing a broken branch from the ground. It was a stupid idea. The hunter towered over him, armored and deadly, but Ethan didn't care. He swung the branch with all his strength. It hit the hunter's mask and snapped in two. The hunter grabbed Ethan by the shirt and lifted him off the ground. Human interference unnecessary. Lyra screamed, "No." Her marks glowed bright blue, pulsing faster and faster. The air around her shimmered. A sudden blast of wind pushed outward, and the hunter dropped Ethan as if its arm were burning. Ethan fell to the ground, gasping for breath. "Lyra, what did you?" Lyra stepped forward, eyes glowing like white flames. "Don't hurt him." The hunter aimed its weapon at her, but before it could fire, a wave of blue energy burst from Lyra's hands. It struck the hunter in the chest, sending it flying across the forest floor, crashing into a tree with a metallic scream. Ethan stared wide-eyed. "Lyra, that was you." Lyra looked down at her hands, terrified. "I can't control it." The Guardian shouted, "Stay back. Your awakening powers are unstable." But Lyra didn't hear them. She only saw Ethan hurt and the hunters threatening him. The first hunter, still fighting the Guardian, broke free enough to aim a shot directly at Lyra. "Princess must be captured alive," it growled. "But human can be eliminated." It aimed its weapon at Ethan. Lyra screamed, "Nitrogen monoxide." A powerful wave of energy erupted from her again, stronger, brighter, and louder than before. The beam hit the hunter square in the chest and sent it flying backward, crashing into a mountain of rocks. Metal tore. Sparks flew. The hunter didn't get up this time, but Lyra collapsed, breathing hard. The Guardian rushed to her. "Your power is awakening faster than expected." "Too fast." Lyra's voice shook. "I don't want this. I just want to be safe. I want Ethan to be safe." The second hunter, the one slammed earlier, slowly stood again. Its armor was cracked, but its eyes glowed brighter. "Princess power confirmed," it rasped. "Extraction required." The Guardians stepped forward, raising their shield. "You will not touch her." The hunter ignored the Guardian and suddenly leapt into the air, firing multiple shots downward like a raining storm. Trees exploded. Dirt flew. The Guardian shielded Lyra and Ethan, but the force pushed them all backward. The hunter landed in front of Lyra, reaching for her arm. Ethan didn't think, he just acted. He rushed forward and slammed into the hunter's metal body with all the strength he had. It barely moved, but it was enough to break its focus. The Guardians seized the moment, thrusting their golden sword into the hunter's chest. The blade pierced the armor. The hunter gurgled a strange, glitching noise and fell still. Silence returned. No more hums. No more red lights. The hunters lay defeated. Lyra sank to the ground, shaking. Ethan wrapped his arms around her, holding her close. "It's over," he whispered. "You're safe." The Guardian did not look relieved. Instead, they stared at the sky, voice low and tense. "No," they said. "More will come." The hunters were only scouts. Ethan looked up, confused. Scouts? For who? The Guardian turned to Lyra, their eyes filled with a sadness Ethan didn't understand. "For the new ruler," the Guardian said. "The one responsible for destroying your family." Lyra held Ethan's hand tighter. Her power had awakened. And now the real war would begin. The forest smelled of smoke and burnt metal. The bodies of the hunters lay still, sparks flickering from their broken armor. Ethan helped Lyra stand, but she leaned against him, exhausted. Her glowing veins dimmed, flickering like dying stars. The Guardian looked at both of them with a troubled expression. "We cannot stay here. The fallen hunters have already sent a distress signal. More enemy forces will arrive." Lyra's voice was barely above a whisper. "Where do we go?" The Guardian pointed toward the mountains beyond the forest. Dark, tall, covered in mist. "There is a place of power, a sanctuary created by the old Astrian priests. Maybe it will help you understand your gift." Ethan nodded. "Then let's go." They traveled uphill through thick trees and rocky paths. Lyra walked silently, holding Ethan's hand, her eyes distant as if hearing something others could. After an hour of climbing, they reached a narrow opening in the mountain. Cold air flowed out like a breath from an ancient world. "This is the Echo Cave," the Guardian explained. "A place that remembers every royal blood who enters." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "The cave remembers?" "It remembers better than any living heart," the Guardian said. Lyra stepped forward slowly. The moment her foot touched the stone floor inside the cave, the walls lit up. Blue lines flowed across them, matching the same pattern on her skin. Ethan gasped. "It's reacting to her." The Guardian nodded. "It recognizes her." As Lyra walked deeper, the cave glowed brighter, painting her face with soft blue light. She touched a wall and flinched from the cold energy running through it. Ethan stayed close behind her. "Are you okay?" Lyra nodded weakly. "It feels familiar, like a place I saw long ago." Deeper inside, the cave widened into a circular chamber. At its center was a stone platform, marked with the same star-shaped symbol on Lyra's arm. Lyra stepped toward it slowly. "This is calling me." "Be careful," Ethan warned, but the Guardian shook their head. "This is her destiny." Lyra placed her hand on the star symbol. Instantly, the entire chamber lit up with blinding blue light. Ethan covered his eyes. The Guardian stepped back. When the light faded, a tall hologram appeared in the center of the room. Ethan recognized the woman immediately, the same woman from the memory shard. Lyra's mother. Queen Selene. Her form flickered, but remained clear enough to see her gentle face. "My daughter," the hologram said, her voice soft but powerful. "If you stand here, then your blood has awakened." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "Mother." The hologram smiled sadly. "You were so small when we sent you away. But we had no choice. The throne had fallen. The hunters were coming. Our only hope was to save you." Lyra touched the hologram, even though her hand passed through it. "Why me? Why am I important?" "Because you carry the heart light," Queen Selene said. "A power that belongs only to the royal line. A power strong enough to end the war." Ethan's eyes widened. Heart light? The Guardian nodded. It is the purest form of Astrian energy. Dangerous, rare, and powerful. Queen Selene continued. When your father discovered the hunter's betrayal, he hid the heart light inside you, locking it away so the enemy could never reach it. Lyra felt her chest tighten. Father. Queen Selene's image flickered more, as if time was running out. My daughter, your powers will grow stronger. But you must learn to control them. If not, they may destroy you and those you love. Lyra looked back at Ethan with fear in her eyes. He shook his head softly. I'm not going anywhere. Queen Selene's smile returned faintly. You have found someone who protects you. Good. No royal stands alone. Suddenly, the room trembled. The hologram's calm face turned serious. They are coming. The new ruler, your parents' killer, has sensed your awakening. The Guardian stepped forward. Who is he? Queen Selene's voice lowered. General Varkos. Once a loyal protector. Now a tyrant. The chamber shook again, stronger this time. Dust fell from the ceiling. Something huge slammed into the mountain outside. Boom. Boom. Ethan grabbed Lyra. What is that? The Guardian's eyes widened. Enemy forces. They tracked the energy pulse. Queen Selene's hologram began to fade. Her last words echoed through the chamber. Lyra, be brave, bring back the light we lost. You are the last hope of Astrian. Then she vanished. The cave grew silent for 1 second, only one. Then the entrance exploded. Shards of rock flew everywhere. A massive shadow stepped inside, a tall figure with jagged armor and burning red eyes. His voice was deep and cold as a dead star. Princess Lyra, he growled. Your time hiding is over. Lyra froze. Varkos. Ethan pulled her behind him. We're not going with you. Varkos lifted a massive weapon, its blade humming with dark energy. You misunderstand, human, he said. I am not here to take her. He pointed the blade at Lyra. I am here to end her. The battle of fate had finally begun. The cave shook again as Varkos stepped into the chamber, filling the space with his heavy presence. His armor was black as night, shaped with sharp metal edges, glowing with dark red energy. His face was hidden behind a mask that looked half human, half machine. Only his burning red eyes were visible. Lyra stepped back, gripping Ethan's hand so tightly he could feel her fear. The Guardian moved in front of them, their golden shield glowing brighter than ever. Varkos raised his weapon slowly. Little princess, you can stop running now. I will finish what I started years ago. Lyra trembled, but she didn't hide. She looked straight at him. Why? Why did you kill my parents? Varkos tilted his head, as if the answer were the simplest thing in the world. Because they were weak. They believed in peace. His voice deepened. But the universe belongs to the strong. The Guardian growled, stepping forward. You betrayed the throne. You destroyed the empire. Varkos raised one finger. Correction. I saved it. I took control. I gave the hunters purpose. And now I will remove the last obstacle. His red eyes locked onto Lyra. Ethan stepped in front of her. You'll have to go through me first. Varkos stared at him for a moment, his red eyes narrowing. Then he laughed, a cold metallic sound. You, a human child protecting a royal? How amusing. He swung his weapon toward Ethan. The Guardian blocked just in time, the clash sending a wave of golden sparks across the chamber. Ethan, run! The Guardian shouted. But Ethan didn't move. I promised I wouldn't leave her. Lyra's eyes filled with tears, fear, courage, love all blending together. I don't want anyone to die because of me. The cave trembled again as Varkos and the Guardian fought. Their weapons clashed like thunder. Golden and red lights flashed violently, lighting up the walls. The Guardian was skilled, But Varkos was stronger, his strikes heavier, his movements faster. One hit sent the Guardian flying across the chamber, crashing into the stone wall. "Guardian!" Lyra cried, running to them. The Guardian struggled to speak. "Lyra, listen. You must awaken your full power. Only you can stop him." Lyra shook her head. "I can't control it. I'll hurt everyone." The Guardian touched her hand. "Your heart decides how your power moves. And your heart is pure." Ethan knelt beside her. "Lyra, I believe in you. Like your mother believed in you." She looked at him, tears shining in her glowing violet eyes. Boom! A huge shadow fell over them. Varkos lifted his weapon again, aiming directly at Lyra. "This ends now." Ethan stood up, blocking Varkos with his own body. "If you want her, you'll have to kill me first." Lyra screamed, "No!" Her scream echoed through the chamber. Deep, powerful, ancient. The star symbol on the floor lit up. The blue lines on the walls blazed. Lyra's body rose slowly into the air, her hair lifting like weightless silver. Her marks turned bright white, glowing so fiercely the entire cave filled with light. Varkos stepped back, startled. "Heart light. Fully awakened?" Lyra opened her eyes. They shone like two suns. When she spoke, her voice carried calm power. "You hurt my people. You destroyed my family. And you tried to take my life." A pulse of energy rippled from her body. "But I am not afraid anymore." Varkos roared and charged at her, swinging his weapon down. But the blade stopped inches from her, blocked by a sphere of pure white light. Lyra raised one hand. "Enough." She pushed forward gently. A shockwave exploded outward. Varkos was thrown across the chamber, slamming into the rock wall hard enough to crack it. He struggled to stand, sparks bursting from his armor. "No. Impossible. The child is too young to channel that power." Lyra floated closer, glowing with strength. But her face was calm, not angry, not hateful. "You wanted to destroy everything I loved," she said softly. "But I won't become like you." Varkos snarled, raising his weapon again. Lyra lifted her hand. A bright beam of energy blasted from her palm, clean, focused, powerful. It struck Varkos's armor, breaking it apart piece by piece. He screamed as red sparks flew out of him. Within seconds, his armor shattered. Varkos fell to his knees, weakened. You cannot restore the Empire." Lyra shook her head. "I will not rule with fear. I will rebuild with hope." Varkos collapsed, defeated, the last red light in his armor fading. The cave fell silent. Lyra gently floated down until her feet touched the ground. Her glowing marks dimmed slowly, returning to their normal soft blue. Exhausted, she leaned into Ethan's arms. He caught her, holding her gently. "You did it. You saved all of us." Lyra closed her eyes, whispering, "I wasn't alone." The Guardian approached, injured but alive. "Princess Lyra, the royal fleet has received your power signal. They are coming. Loyal to your family." A soft hum filled the cave, then a beam of blue light shone down through the hole Varkos created. A large ship descended, elegant and bright. When the doors opened, armored figures bowed deeply. "Your Highness," one of them said, "we are here to take you home." Lyra looked at Ethan, her eyes full of sadness and hope. "Ethan, come with me." He smiled softly. "If you want me there, then yes." Lyra held his hand tightly. Together, they stepped into the ship. The lost princess was no longer hiding. She was going home. And Earth would forever remember the day a simple human boy stood against the stars and helped return a kingdom its light.